Good afternoon and welcome to this segment with the Entrepreneur Magazine. Today the team is at a hidden gem in the city, which is the C'est La Vie restaurant located at the Kingsbury Hotel in Colombo. Joining us as our guest this afternoon is a manager turned entrepreneur who founded the renowned Genesis Global consultancy firm. So without further hesitation, allow me to introduce to you Mr. Mario Stubbs. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Pleasure to be here.
So if we can get right down to the beginning, can you walk us through how your corporate journey started?
I've had my education in both Sri Lanka and in England. My background is in economics, but then I decided to get in more into the business development and marketing side of companies. I work with both local and international brands in Sri Lanka, spanning from the apparel sectors to aviation to hospitality investments.
Alright, so can you just tell us what the highlights were? What were the most significant milestones in your career that brought you to where you are today?
Actually, my first job starting right at the bottom of it was as a PA for a big conglomerate in Sri Lanka. I was working with the managing director of the company, so I was exposed to a lot of different areas like such as investments, different countries, traveling.
So if you can just tell our audience a little bit about what was the driving force behind you starting your own business?
I've always had the knack for business, for transforming a certain product and making it successful. So, I've always done it for other companies, but had it at the back of my mind to do it on my own. Now, having said that, it's not easy to just get off your desk job and start it on your own for people who want to start their own companies. So, anyone who needs to start a company needs to go through the certain experiences, but not just with one certain company, but work for various industries, various companies, get exposure, not just in like, for example, if you're getting into hospitality, don't just get exposure in hospitality, but uh, learn the back ends of accounting or investments or all the boring stuff before you actually get to what you actually want to do.
So it's the case of almost like being an all-rounder and then jumping into the focus area.
Yes, definitely.
So as you mentioned earlier, you have a rather diverse background. So out of curiosity, what led you to form this business with such a firm focus on the hospitality industry?
Okay, from the first job that I had working in the aviation business and then back into hospitality investments, we touched on certain areas of hospitality, and then post which I got into a few other jobs, which is area development for a brand called Best Western, and I launched a product in Sri Lanka with one of my friends, um, and post which I got approached by Expedia, which is the online company. I mean, it's one of the biggest OTAs in the world, um, and that kind of expanded my views on the hospitality industry because it was more. Prior to that, it was more on the books, and later on, it got more into technology and how technology is used for expansion of businesses, what kind of channels, etc., etc. So post that actually, which I set up here in Sri Lanka, hired the team, learned a lot from handling that business. I decided to take a bit of a break, and to be honest, it was quite accidental that I fell on to consulting because I was approached by a fellow colleague at Expedia to consult for a property in another emerging market in Asia, which is Cambodia, and it was initially just a 6 month stint to consult on technology implementation, e-commerce distribution, etc. And that ended up being it was expanded to a 6 month contract and a 9 month, and then I decided, look, I'm not going to get back into a permanent job because I was enjoying being a consultant. So I thought, okay, I'm going to look for more clients. I did. I got more clients in Sri Lanka, a few more in Vietnam. So that kind of stuck on to me, and I decided to just ride with it. It wasn't
Right.
something I planned,
I
but
see.
yeah.
Okay. So on the topic of clients, can you elaborate on some of the projects that Genesis Global Consulting is currently involved with?
Yes. Our current clients vary from 3 star. Well, I've got one 3 star property, two 5 star, and also luxury boutique. The properties in Sri Lanka are predominantly luxury boutique hotels that I work with. So I try to pitch my consulting to a certain segment. Having said that, my initial client was a three-star and is still part of my clientele for the last 2 years. And it depends on the services they require as well. So, say for example, with the client in Cambodia on the three-star resort, I overlook their overall sales and marketing consulting. And then I've got another client in Siem Reap, in Phnom Penh. So it's a mix of independent properties plus global chains. And one of my most recent clients is Six Senses Condao, which is in Vietnam. And Six Senses is actually one of the leading luxury wellness brands in the world. And I don't think it comes under a certain star category, but it would definitely be somewhere around the seven-star mark. And the properties in Sri Lanka are a mix of small luxury boutique hotels and villas.
Um, so, what is it that your firm offers clients that the competition just cannot match? What drives clients to work with you over anyone else?
Okay, so I mean, so far, I'm quite a new player in the industry.
Right.
There are quite a lot of competitors who I don't consider competitors, but there are quite a lot of people offering similar services. What makes us stand out is that so far the clients I have got have all been referrals. I do not approach any clients. I don't have a website. I haven't got direct mailers going out. Nothing. It's mostly been referrals through the industry, and I tend not to take too many clients. So, say another example would be if I do take on a client in Colombo, I would work on exclusively with that client and not with anyone else. So this has set me apart from the rest, which allows me to focus more on a smaller cluster of clients and also give them a better quality in terms of return. We don't. What we do is we do financial forecasting, etc., etc. We look at increasing the business profitability and also the overall turnover by a certain percentage, which is mutually agreed prior to us getting into a contract. But yeah, like I said, what makes us stand apart from the competition is that um, we are exclusive. We offer personalized services, which everyone I guess would say. But so far we haven't had any complaints, so that has made us successful as well.
So, over the course of this interview, I've understood that you're actively involved in a lot of different projects, and as you just spoke, you're the director of a hotel chain as well. So, how do you manage such a busy professional life with balance between personal life as well? What's your strategy towards that?
Okay. Um, so I try to segregate personal and professional most of the time. It is a very tough challenge to do so. Um, but the best is to try and make time for yourself whenever possible. Now, my work ethic is that I hate desk jobs, so I can't really focus for more than 2 to 3 hours at a stretch and sit at a chair behind a table, for example. So, what I tend to do is I tend to work for a couple of hours. I tend to do something that I like, probably work out or go out for lunch, come back, but I still eventually get back to work. And I try to split the day or segment the day into in such a way that I mix uh, both work and leisure. If it means shutting down for a day, I haven't been able to do that since I started my business on my own.
For anyone watching who has always aspired to start their own venture, what advice do you have for them?
You need to learn to step back, delegate when necessary, um, and also when you're going into doing your own business, you need to have the overall experience of with different countries, different across different people, different managerial positions, different partnerships. Build the right contacts, because any contact, whether it be a contact you make at an office or at a meeting, your first impression goes a long way. And or whether it's something I like doing, which is going out a lot and partying, uh, which a lot of people know me for. But that kind of builds a different kind of relationship, which goes a long way, especially with the clients I have at the moment, like whether they be in Vietnam or Cambodia or Hong Kong, Singapore. Most of my contacts have been mostly through leisure activities, and also last but not least, um, it's very important to know that even once you start your own business, there is way more learning to do because you will be your own HR department, you will be your own admin, you'll be your own IT department. So be ready because it's going to be a lot thrown on you. It's not just like you're going from 9 to 5 and coming back home and chilling or going and seeing your friends. You'd be expected to perform every single minute of the day, and you'd have to know every single area of whether it's an employee contract or a client contract, a general service agreement, whatever it is, legalities across different countries, um, uh, and also client preferences if you are pitching and trying to acquire certain clients.
So there you have it. That was some well put together words of advice from an experienced gentleman. Mr. Stubbs, thank you so much for taking time to be with us
Thank
today.
you. Pleasure being here.